Every other day, the stock market is in free fall, and we're looking for the bottom. But the fact is, it's all being driven by interest rates, inflation, and the Russian war. And these things will pass. What we have to do is look past that and say what is going to take us into the new revolutionary age of the stock market, and it's artificial intelligence, big data, machine learning, driven into the fields of healthcare. So what I want to do is decide in my portfolio which stocks do I want to buy more now and which ones do I want to sell. And that's what I'm going to do in this video today, is show you exactly which stocks I'm going to buy more of for exponential return in the very near future.
Best of Us Investors presents Carrie Griegmeyer.
Again, I'm a long-term investor, so I base my investment decisions on what I think is going to change in the world and which companies are going to benefit from that change. And I believe the big change is going to be in the healthcare field, because the pandemic has basically told us that our healthcare system is broken, that we can get a virus from a foreign country and it bring our economy to our knees. So we're going to muster everything that we have: money, intelligence, computer capabilities, the smartest people in the world, to make sure that this never happens again. That's the way the world works. So I'm looking at my portfolio. I've been directed for this way for the last year and a half, and I've taken some beatings because of the overall reaction to the stock market for current situations. So I'm going towards healthcare. So I've built this. Doing is analyzing the stocks that I really like in my portfolio, that I think I have some potential for growth, and I want to break them down into different factors and take you through how I made the decision. What I looked at first was Amazon, Google, Microsoft, Apple, CRISPR, Editas, Beam, Caribou, Invate, NVIDIA, Desktop Metals, 3D Systems, and Intella Therapeutics. They're all in different fields, and they're there for different reasons. So what I did was I then went to Seeking Alpha, and I went through their last year's performance. And you can see they range from a loss on Desktop Metals of 75% to a increase on Apple of up 1%. And then based on how that appealed to me towards maybe buying some more, I made them green, left them white, or put red on. As you can see, in Invate, down 90%. I thought, my goodness, somebody knows something I don't, and so I need to give a negative look at that. Same as Desktop Metals. But I also see that 3D Systems is down 65%, and I know that they are more in the medical field, so that leans me a little bit stronger towards them. I've then shown you in the column, this column, the price that they're selling for. This has some influence because I only have so much to invest, and what I'm looking for is a double in my return on my investment. And so then here I have gone and said, okay, how long do I think it would take reasonably to get a 2x return on this stock? And as you can see, Amazon, I believe, because they're down 39%, they'll probably go up 39% next year and possibly the following years. And so I'm saying it'll take about 6 years for it to double. 4 years. Google, I said 6 years, and I recognize that Google will split later this month, so that'll make their price a little bit more attractive, but they're only down 14%. Microsoft, 6 years, they're down 8%. Apple, probably 7 years, and they're up 1%. Then we get into the therapeutic stocks, and CRISPR is actually down 37%. It sells for $79. I think it could be $100 $160 in 2 years if they make the inventions or the developments of genome therapy or genome editing drugs that I think they will. I see the same in Beam, probably 3 years, Caribou 2 years, and that's influenced by the fact that it's only a $7 stock. Invate maybe in 1 year because it's a $2.73 stock, and then NVIDIA 2.5 years, IntelliTherapeutics probably 2 years. And so then what I look at it is what is the stability of the stocks. And what I did here was go again back to Seeking Alpha, and I'll show you here. What I did with each of these stocks was first come in and check and see what their year-to-date performance was. And in this case, Intella is down 54%. Then what I did was click on here and go to their financials. I started with their income statement. And what I'm finding here is they actually had a negative operating income of 355, I guess that's millions of dollars. Yeah. And then I clicked on balance sheet, and I came over here, and it tells me that for total cash and short-term investments, they have $855 million. So what I did was then divide this $855 million by the annual operating loss of 355 to come up with the number of years, if they continue to burn cash at that rate, that number of years they have of operation in front of them based on that. Now, can they go, when you're dealing with a stock that is not making money, it's real important to understand how long can you go. Put it in perspective of your own household. If you're not having income and you're losing money and you're draining your bank account, what happens next? Either your father-in-law comes and bails you out, or you start turning a profit, or you find other investors. And what I found was several stocks that are a little precarious. I found that Editas actually is not profitable. I knew that. And they have only 2.6 years of cash available at the current rate they're burning. Beam, on the other hand, has 11 years. So that made me feel more confident. Caribou, 4.7 years. Invate, 1.8. Somebody knows something I don't know. And you'll see there to the right, I'm anticipating selling it. NVIDIA is a profitable stock. Desktop Metals, down 75%. It's got a one year cash burn. I'll probably sell my Desktop Metals. I just think somebody's going to come and buy them because they're a good company. They're in a good place. But at this price of $2.30, they're going to be bought by someone. I'm not sure. It might be even somebody like Amazon who wants to make the parts, although these people are more in the industrial field. So somebody's going to buy them, I think. So and it's 3D printing, so I'm going to sell them. On the other hand, I'm going to hold DDD. They're also into 3D printing, but they're more into the medical field. And then again, that's an area of interest that I'm in. They make replacement bones, they make dentures, they make joints, all the kinds of things within the medical field. And I think the medical field is going to drive the next 5 years of our markets. And then Intella is also in the healthcare field. I was a little surprised to find that they only have about 2.41 years of cash to there. But what I know about Intella is they're further along than many of the other genome sequencing or genome editing and therapy companies. They've developed they're in stage 3 for a liver disease and have had some tremendous success. And this is one of the best performers of the genome therapy and genome tech stocks that I have. So then I told you basically what I'm going to do. I'm going to be allocating somewhere around $10,000, and I'm going to buy more Amazon. I'm going to buy more CRISPR. I'm going to buy Editas, Beam, Caribou. I'm going to sell Invate. Somebody will buy them, or they're just not making any progress, and they don't have much cash. Then I'm going to hold my 3D systems, sell my desktop metals, and I'm going to buy more Intella. So that's how I looked at it. And as I said initially, this is driven by artificial intelligence, big data, and healthcare. I believe as a result of the coronavirus, this is going to be the fastest growing area in the next 3 to 5 years. I'm also going to, if you followed me, you know that I've talked about at some point I want to buy into Elon Musk's SpaceX. I got an email this week from a disruptor saying that they are in fact in possession of a number of shares. So I'm going to go and buy some of that stock next week, and I'll take you on my app and show you exactly how to do it. This is what the app looks like. This is how you kind of maneuver through it. But next week, I'm going to actually buy some, and I'll share that experience with you and share more information as to why I'm doing it and what my intentions are. So that's my take on, is now the time to buy stocks? Most definitely it is. We know that from the last 2 major experiences that I can compare this to, actually 3, the dot-com bubble, the subprime crisis, and then the much shorter period of time of the coronavirus crisis. How long is this going to take? How low is it going to go? I don't know. I don't know, because it's being driven by fear and panic. And I think the reality is we've got to flush out the sissies, the people who came in to feed off of the $9 trillion that was fed into the market by the government. And we had an overzealous market for 2020 and part of 2021. And then it woke up to reality. And the correction is here, but it is a correction. I do not believe with the naysayers that says this is the beginning of the end. Yeah, we're going to have some shaking out as a result of deglobalization. I've talked to you numerous times about that relative to Peter Zion's book, The End of the World is Just the Beginning, mapping the collapse of the globalization. Our world is in a time of change, and that time of change is an opportunity. And that's what I want you to really remember. Change brings opportunity. You merely need to see the companies that are going to facilitate that change. And the change is going to be where we have been hurt the worst. And I know you believe that that is at the gas pump, but I'm sorry, that is not the case. Where we've got hurt the worst is the millions of deaths that our world has consumed as a result of a bat virus coming out of Wuhan, China. That can never happen again. Gas prices can happen and will happen again. But death to millions of people because of an uncontrolled virus can never happen again. If you will remember that, and then direct your future investments based upon that one premise, the death of millions of people in our civilization and the shutdown of our economy can never happen again, you now know what's going to drive the markets for the next 3 to 5 years. It's that simple, but I want to share with you less than 5% of the investment people in the world recognize that. That gives you an advantage. Read, understand how our world works based on what we've learned on past history. Will Smith made a quote. His grandmother, I think, told him that the one thing we have learned from history is humankind doesn't learn from history. So study it, understand it, and then become better at it. I hope you also recognize the importance to my investments of having tools to work with. And Seeking Alpha is one I don't think you can proceed forward without. So I'm putting a link in the description. I've negotiated you a 50% discount so you can get in and learn how to use it as I have. Talk to you again tomorrow, and we're going to make money at this because we're thinking in the future. We're not reactionary.